Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Stella Beauty Tarot back at you again with another video. I would like to thank each and every one of you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and donating to my channel. I really do appreciate all the love and all the support. And thank you for those of you who've been booking readings with me. It is truly appreciated, okay? So as you guys could tell by the title of this video is going to be about what comes to mind when people mention your name, okay? So pile number one, you're going to be the yellow highlighter. Pile number two, you're going to be the blue highlighter. And pile number three, you're going to be the pink highlighter. Okay? So again, pile number one, the yellow highlighter. Pile number two, you're going to be the blue highlighter. And pile number three, the pink highlighter. Okay? So pause this video if you must and meditate on the card or the highlighter that you feel most drawn to. You'll be able to find your timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you guys at your pile. Hi pile one, welcome to my channel. This is Stella Beauty Tarot back at you again with another video. So my pile number one, you picked the yellow highlighter, and this is going to be your reading, okay? So if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back. And if you are a newbie, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the way I like to do this is I like to smudge the cards first before we get started, so we don't pick up the energy of previous pile or previous readings, okay? So my pile number one, what comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name, my pile number one? What comes to mind? So pile number one, your card is Venus, beloved, okay, beloved. So I'm getting with the Venus energy, you could be Taurus or Libra, don't have to be, but I'm getting like a gracious energy. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name, that you have a gracious energy, that you have a beautiful energy. Divine feminine, okay, you are extremely beautiful on the inside and out, okay? I'm getting also financially stable and abundant, extremely creative, because we have all these flowers, okay, all these flowers on the card, and we have the pomegranate, and the pomegranate, it represents abundance, okay? And we have the bees here, okay? Definitely beautiful. I'm also getting like exotic is what comes to mind when people mention your name, okay? Whether that you're a man or a woman here, people find you exotic. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Okay, so we have the Hermit card, Virgo energy, King of Swords, what comes to mind when people mention your name? Wow, we have the Strength card, Leo energy. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Wow, we have the Star, Aquarius energy. So extremely popular, poppin', I'm getting, okay? Healing energy. But what comes to mind when people mention your name is that like you like to spend a lot of time alone, maybe in nature. I'm getting like physically fit, nice body with the hair, not the hair font, sorry, with the Hermit card, like really fit body, because you take care of your body. You probably like very health conscious, okay? You probably eat very strict diet or lean diet, I'm getting. And what comes to mind when people mention your name is how intelligent that you are with the King of Swords, okay? How eloquent that you are with your words, your vocabulary, okay? You're a great communicator. You are also extremely strong and courageous. You have the power of persuasion. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. You're extremely influential with the Strength card and the Hope card. Okay, sorry, the Star card. You definitely give people hope, but you influence people. Like I'm getting like people look up to you, they follow you on maybe on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever it is that your niche is. you have a large following, or you're about to get a large following, but you're definitely influential. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, like how you've grown, how you influence them to become better. I'm getting, for some of you, even influence people that didn't really like you to go back to school, okay, or to get an education, or to follow their dreams. There's something that you're doing right now that's like pushing people to be the better version of themselves, okay? And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. What comes to mind when people mention your name? We have the 9 of Pentacles. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Wow, we have the Magician. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. We have Virgo energy 3 times, because the 9 of Pentacles is Virgo energy and the Magician is Virgo Gemini energy. Okay, so you live a life of luxury, that you have a beautiful style. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Some people say that you're extremely lucky. When they mention your name, it's like how lucky that you are. But I'm getting, with the 8 of Pentacles coming out here, you are a hard worker. You're a skilled worker. You're extremely talented. You're definitely self-sufficient. That's what comes to mind when people mention your name. But you also see the Magician. This is somebody who's extremely skilled and talented at what they do. A great communicator, because the Magician is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the planet of communication. Okay. So I'm getting like you have, like, with the King of Swords being there, your communication is impeccable. Like how you convey a message. So you're probably really good with social media. Maybe you do social media marketing, okay? Or yeah, I'm getting like that vibe from you. Social media marketing for some of you, not for all of you, but I'm getting, this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, like how you have great social media marketing skills, okay? You know how to market your products, or you know how to market yourself with ease and with grace. Some people envy you because they're wondering like how you're doing it, but really you put time and effort in it. With the 8 of Pentacles, you studied you studied the trance, you studied your craft, okay? You perfected your craft with the 8 of Pentacles. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, like how amazing that you are now, okay? How you leveled up. You're extremely creative. What comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name? We have the Queen of Cups that flew. I'm going to grab it soon. What do we have here? Whoa, we have the 5 of Wands. I'm telling you, you have competitors. You have people that are competing against you. They want to be just like you or better than you. We have the Queen of Cups. Okay. What comes to mind when people mention your name is that you are extremely compassionate. With the Queen of Cups, you're highly intuitive. Okay. You're sensitive as well. You're sensitive to your environment, but they see you, some people see you as competition with the 5 of Wands. And I'm also getting like, what comes to mind when people mention your name is that you are extremely ambitious. Okay. What comes to mind when people mention your name? I just saw the Hierophant. They wanted to come out. What comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name? We have the 6 of Swords. Okay, you moved on to calmer waters. You relocated to a new area. You left some people behind. Okay. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Wow, you made the right choices for yourself, but I'm also getting like a great amount of sex appeal. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. But I'm also getting like you relocated. Some people, they miss you. They miss being around you. They miss having access to you. Like, I feel like you have a lot of people watching you with the Page of Swords, keeping tabs on you, people from your past. And they're like mentioning you. They're reminiscing about you. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Okay, you see, 8 of Cups, you walked away, you left them behind. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name, that you are emotionally withdrew. You withdrawn your emotions from them, or you're not even looking back at them. You walked away emotionally, physically, because we have the 6 of Swords as well. So you relocated. You're doing much better with yourself. Okay. What comes to mind? Yeah, you rejected them. 3 of Swords. Like, there's some people that are salty. when they mention your name, like you're, you know, like there is like a little bass in their voice when they mention your name. There's a little like hint of hate when they mention your name. You know how you relocated, how you think you're better than them. We have a fool. Say we have the fool. Sorry. And I'm getting with the fool, you took a leap of faith on yourself. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name, okay? You actually took the bull by its horn and you took that leap, okay? You are definitely somebody who walks to the beat of your own drums. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. I'm getting like some people used to say that you were a fool for taking that leap of faith, for actually following your dreams. But now that they're seeing you making big things happen for yourself with the 9 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles and becoming a star, like being in the public eye, now they feel some type of way. They're salty, okay? What comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name? You see, Ace of Wands, creativity. How creative that you are, okay, that how you did it on your own, that you're self-sufficient. I'm really in that sense, self-sufficient is like the main thing that they are talking about, okay? Like I'm really getting a lot of envy. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Yeah, they're spying on you. Page of Swords. They're studying you. You have people studying you like a hawk, watching you like a hawk, paying attention to every little detail, every little thing that you post online on social media. These people are studying every inch of it with the Page of Swords, okay? They're watching you grow. They're watching you elevate in your life, and they're not liking it. Okay, they're wondering like how you come up with so many ideas with the Ace of Wands, okay? And also what comes to mind when people mention your name is how like you have a lot of creative energy, and you also have a lot of sexual energy. Like you exude some sort of sexual energy that is natural, that is healing as well, okay? This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. We have the King of Pentacles. You're definitely abundant. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. Self-thought, I'm getting with the King of Pentacles. A master at your craft. And with the King of Pentacles, I'm also getting like compassionate, established. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. Like they're talking about how you're so established, how you're so well connected as well. Maybe because I said social media marketing, so I'm getting like you're well connected. They wish they still kept that, like kept in contact with you, because some of them, like I said, you walked away with the 8 of Cups and the 6 of Swords. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Oh, 5 of Cups, regret. Yeah, some people are really sad when they mention your name. Like, I just heard that song. Now you're just somebody that I used to know, somebody. This is what I'm getting. You're just somebody that they used to know. Ace of Wands. Yeah, they're heartbroken when they mention your name. It's like there's a lot of heartbreak. There's a lot of regret. Not because you did something, it's because they did something to you, or they didn't believe in you. Now we have the Ace of Wands, like that creativity. This is like they didn't know how creative that you were. Okay, these people doubted you. They doubted your skills. They didn't think that you're gonna make it this far. What comes to mind when people mention your name? We have the Page of Pentacles. Now you are distant. Okay, with the Page of Pentacles, now you are the one breadcrumbing them. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. Like now that you're doing your thing, now you're distant. You're doing your thing without them in your life. And also what I'm getting, yeah, you're keeping secrets. You're keeping like you're moving in silence with the High Priestess. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. Like they don't know what you're up to. Yeah, 8 of Cups again. They don't know what you're up to. Okay, you're really moving in silence with the High Priestess, so they don't even know what's your next move. They have to watch you closely and try to decipher what you're doing, what you're going to be doing next, and they can't keep up with you. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. Yeah, you're reserved. 4 of Pentacles. Okay, that you're extremely private. like I said, like that song, now you're just somebody that I used to know. Like they don't know you anymore. This new you, this new version of you, they don't have access to it, and they could only speculate from what they could see. Okay, what they have access to is only your social media. This is like just a glimpse of what is really going on in your life. It's not your whole life. Okay, so this is what I'm getting here. These people, they don't have access. So what comes to mind when they mention your name is like a lot of regret, a lot of sorrow, a lot of envy. Okay, they definitely see your growth, they definitely see your shine. Okay, and they're not part of it. Okay, but they're definitely learning from you. If you think these people are not learning from you, they are. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Wow, we have the 2 cups. Some people feel like they wish they could have a partnership with you, but I'm also getting with the 2 cups, this could be like an ex talking about you. Whenever people mention your name, this person regrets like doing you dirty. With the 2 cups, they wish they could like have a second chance with you. They reminisce about how you were a really good lover. You were very passionate about them, because we have the Ace of Wands twice, so you were extremely passionate. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name, but it's that specific person when people ask them about you. How is so and so, how is pal number 1 doing? And this person just like, there's a lot of regret in their voice. There's a lot of like sadness when they mention your name, or when people mention your name, and like they're just like thinking about how things used to be when there was the 2 of you, when you guys were like, you know, doing your thing, and now that you're gone, this person feels like empty. Okay, this is what like comes to mind when people mention your name to this specific person. And you have some salty haters. It could have been like old friends that you no longer talk to. With the 8 of Cups, that they have like some sort of base, like you hear the hate in their voice when people mention your name, and they mention like how you're doing so good, that you're living a life of luxury, you're, you know, you're in the limelight with the star, you're courageous, you're influential, and these people don't like it. It gives them this ache in their heart every time people mention your name. Okay, so that's all I have for you, my pal number 1. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video, pal number 1. Bye. Hi, pal 2. Welcome to my channel. This is Stella Beauty Tarot, back at you again with another video. So my pal number 2, you picked the blue highlighter, and this is going to be your reading. Okay, so if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back. And if you are a newbie, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the way I like to do this is I like to smudge the cards first before we get started, so we don't pick up the energy of previous pal or previous readings. Okay, so my pal number 2, what comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name, my pal number 2? So what card do we have for you, my pal number 2? We have Chiron, heal. Okay, so definitely what comes to mind when people mention your name is how much you've healed, how much you've grown. Okay, maybe you were in a dark period in your life, and I feel like maybe these people, either they were unable to help you or unwilling to help you, but you've healed tremendously. Okay, this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. You've been through some sort of transformation from within. A lot of you may have recovered from some sort of illness. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Yeah, 5 of Wands, like some sort of struggle, because the 5 of Wands can represent struggle. It doesn't have to be drama or challenge. Like I'm getting like some sort of struggle that you had to overcome. Okay, and this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. You overcame that. Yeah, 8 of Pentacles. Okay, for some of you it could have been like some sort of like maybe poverty. I'm really getting like some sort of illness, physical illness. Maybe some of you, you overcame cancer. I'm getting with the Chiron, you overcame cancer by changing your diet. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. It's like they're so proud of you for overcoming this obstacle, because it was really difficult. Okay, not a lot of people could do that by changing their diet. Some people are not committed enough to do that by changing their diet. Okay, and you decided to take the natural route when it comes to your healing, and you were able to do that. And this is what people mention. This is what people say when people mention your name, okay? This is what comes to mind. We have the Ace of Pentacles. What comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name? We have Seven of Wands. You're definitely a warrior. You are strong. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Like, you definitely took an opportunity and you ran with it, okay? So with the Ace of Pentacles is like solid foundation. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. Like, you took your situation and you ran with it and you became an advocate. For some of you, you are maybe an advocate for this, whatever illness that you overcame, you became an advocate for it. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. Like, they're so proud of your growth. They're so proud of how far you've came, okay? So it's like, they use you as an example of the will of the human will, okay? Like the power of your mind. Like, if you believe in your mind that you could accomplish something, I'm getting like you are like the example of like what it could be done when you believe in yourself, when you believe that you could heal no matter what, like the doctors tell you, no matter what people tell you, you know that you could heal yourself. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. And I'm just seeing on the clock 10:10, so you may see that number often, 10:10, okay? We have the King of Pentacles. Okay, what comes to mind when people mention your name? We have, you see, victory, good news, success. You successfully overcame something that was like, that would have killed most people, but you came out on top. Yeah, with the Queen of Wands. Like, this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, that you are definitely somebody who is grounded with the King of Pentacles, sturdy, somebody who's reliable, who is loyal, okay, who is extremely successful. This is what I'm getting, like, you get a lot of praises in private. There may be people that are praising you that you may not even know they are, okay, with the Six of Wands, but they definitely see you as a warrior, somebody who is extremely strong, that is confident, who is a leader, a self-starter. Okay, with the Queen of Wands, extremely beautiful on the inside and on the outside as well. Very powerful, okay? A force to be reckoned with. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. Yeah, we have the Wheel of Fortune, that you turned your luck around with the Wheel of Fortune. Like I said, maybe for some of you, it was like, something that, you know, maybe some people would consider terminal, but you changed like your trajectory of your life. For some of you, it could have been like a really bad accident that maybe the doctors said that you would never walk again or you would never speak again, and you defined this, like you definitely went against this, and you showed them that the power of the mind, that you were going to walk again, that you were going to talk again. Like, you overcame some sort of struggle or obstacles that was hindering you. This obstacles or challenge was not of your own doing. It was like something that happened to you that you overcame, okay? And this is what comes to mind when people mention you, like you changed your luck. What comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name? My pile number 2. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, for some of you, it could have taken you 7 years to overcome this obstacle with the Seven of Pentacles. What comes to mind when people mention your name is that you are extremely patient, that you are dedicated, that you are loyal to your investment, like you really believe in yourself. You have a lot of faith. The Seven of Pentacles is also having faith, because when you plant your seeds, you're not seeing it sprout, so it's going underneath. It's like you have to trust that the universe is also helping you. And then this is what I'm getting here with the Seven of Pentacles. People say that you are extremely faithful, that you are courageous, okay? What comes to mind when people mention your name? Wow, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Very nurturing, very grounded energy with the Queen and the King of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. You have a lot of grounded energy, okay? Like, you're very yeah, like sturdy. Yeah, we have the Ace of Swords that wants to come out. What comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name? We have the Two of Cups. I'm getting you have a great balance of feminine and masculine energy, okay? What comes to mind when people mention your name? Wow, we have the Three of Cups. You have a happy disposition to yourself. Like, no matter how hard life was for you, no matter how difficult the situation was for you, these obstacles that you had to overcome, you always kept a happy attitude, a joyful attitude, a grateful attitude. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. Like, you have, not only are you strong physically, but your character, you have strength of character as well. Okay, so definitely when people go through some sort of struggle in their life, they look at you, they look to you for example of like what the human mind and the will could do. Okay, so it's like, if you could do it, other people can do it. Like, it's like you give them hope that they could overcome any challenge that comes their way. Okay, this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. What comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name? We have the King of Cups. Emotionally balanced, very mature. I'm getting married, very mature for your age. Okay, we have Temperance. Okay, we have Temperance is Sagittarius energy. You're wise beyond your years. You understand life. You see things for what it is, and you also have like an optimistic attitude. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. You're extremely grateful. Okay, what comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name? We have the Page of Swords. Okay, that you are very intelligent with the Page of Swords. Okay, you did a lot of research. Like I said, I feel like some of you healed yourself naturally with natural remedies, and it's by your own doing. Like, your healing was your own. It wasn't someone else that helped you. Like I said, maybe the doctor said that it was like terminal or that there was no hope for you, but you did not believe them. You trusted in the universe. You trusted in God. You had a lot of faith, especially with the Temperance card. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, like that you defied all, you went against all odds, okay? And you came out victorious. And we do have the Six of Wands, so it makes a lot of sense. What comes to mind when people mention your name? My pile number 2. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Yeah, we have, okay, we have the 10 of Cups. Wow, the Emperor came out. Okay, so Emperor, Aries energy, 10 of Cups, and we have the 8 of Pentacles again. So extremely skilled, extremely talented. Okay, so you have a lot of support. What I'm getting with the 10 of Cups, what comes to mind when people mention your name is that you have a really good support system with the 10 of Cups. Okay, for some of you, it could have been like your family members that were very supportive of like your growth, very supportive of you going natural. Okay, like natural remedies when it comes to your healing. Or it could have been just friends around you that were extremely supportive of your journey, and you made it out on top. I'm getting like there's a lot of good emotions, a lot of good feelings when it comes to your name when people mention you. Okay, they talk about how powerful that you are with the Emperor, that you are definitely a go-getter. You're extremely strong and disciplined. Okay, because it took you a long time. I'm really getting like with the 7 of Pentacles, it could have taken you 7 years to heal or 7 months, but it took you a while. Okay, it wasn't overnight, but you were consistent, you were persistent, and you were extremely disciplined, and you have strong will. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, how strong you are. Like I said, the strength of character. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Wow, we have the Wheel of Fortune again. You change your luck. We have the 6 of Cups. I'm getting like it's people from your past. They have like very fond memories of you. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Wow, we have the 4 of Wands. Extremely successful, abundant, and strong. And I'm also getting with the 4 of Wands like a strong foundation. They talk about like because it was a celebration when you healed yourself. Okay, people were very proud. They were very happy. I feel like maybe some of you, your family threw a party for you. And we have the 8 of Pentacles again. It's like extreme dedication for perfection. And I'm getting for some of you, even while you were like sick or while you were injured, you were still going to school. you're still taking your classes. I feel like maybe some of you, maybe your parents brought your homework to you at the hospital, or or your friends brought your homework to you at the hospital, or when you were at home. Okay, when you're supposed to be resting, you did not rest. You kept on going. Okay, and this is what, like, people, when they mention your name, it's like, wow, this person is like so strong. Pile number 2 is amazing. Like, I don't know how they did it, but they really give me hope that anything is possible when you put your mind into it, and that no matter what situation you find yourself into, you could always come out on top. And this is what what comes to mind when people mention your name. And you see, we have the Hermit, healing. And then Hermit is natural way of healing, natural remedy, herbalist. Okay, like I said, you healed yourself naturally. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, is that like you are extremely wise beyond your years, with the Hermit card. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Wow, guys, Ace of Swords, the truth. You're definitely a truth seeker as well with the Ace of Swords. You did it the honest way. I feel like some of you, if it was cancer, you didn't do chemo. You chose not to do chemo. You chose to do, like I said, you went the natural way by changing your diet, by doing something different, not unconventional. This is what I'm getting here. Okay, this is what comes to mind. Yeah. Magician, you miraculously changed or healed yourself. These people say that it's a miracle that you're still walking. Like I said, some of you, the doctors said that you couldn't, like if it was an accident, the doctor said that you wouldn't walk, or you wouldn't speak again, you wouldn't be able to do sports again, like something like to do with your physical body that you wouldn't be able to do, that it would hinder you, and you proved them wrong. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, like how you defied all odds. You beat all the odds that were against you. You are extremely, I feel like some of you even manifested your healing. You use a law of attraction to heal your body. I'm getting also some of you Chinese medicine. Okay, not for all of you, okay, but for some of you I'm getting Chinese medicine, and this is how you overcame this obstacle in your life. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. And if it's not like physical illness, it could have been like some sort of a mental illness as well that you overcame, and you did it on your own. For some of you, you may have went to therapy for a few years, and then you took what you've learned in therapy and applied it to your life, and this is how you healed. Okay, so that's all I have for you, my pile number 2. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video, pile number 2. Bye. Hi pile 3, welcome to my channel. This is Stella Beauty Tarot, back at you again with another video. So my pile number 3, you picked the pink highlighter, and this is going to be your reading, okay? So if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back. And if you are a newbie, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the way I like to do this is I like to smudge the cards first before we get started, so we don't pick up the energy of previous pile or previous readings, okay? So my pile number 3, what comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name, my pile number 3? What comes to mind when people mention your name? So my pile number 3, you picked the 9th house, exploration. So you could be a Sagittarius, don't have to be. Okay, so I'm getting definitely a traveler. Okay, that's what comes to mind when people mention your name. You like to travel, you like to explore the world. Definitely, I'm getting intelligent. Philosophy, I don't know why I'm getting philosophy for some of you. Maybe I'm getting like maybe you took philosophy in university, or yeah, maybe university. I don't think they have philosophy courses or a program in college. I could be wrong, but I'm getting like university. We have the Death card, Scorpio energy. What comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name? We have Justice that flew out. I'm about to pick it up. Okay, there's definitely a powerful change. Okay, we have the Justice card, Libra energy. You could be a Libra, Scorpio cusp, don't have to be. We have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, like you walked away or you moved away to explore the world. You left everybody behind. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. There was like a powerful change or a sudden change, sudden move, sudden turn of event. You have been on a sabbatical for maybe a year or two, okay, with the 9th house. You went to explore the world. I feel like some of you have traveled to multiple continents here. So basically you went to Africa, you went to Europe, okay, South America, maybe the Caribbeans as well, Australia. So I feel like you've been traveling for a long time on your own. You've transformed. This is what comes to mind when people mention him, how you transform, how you improved yourself. I feel like maybe at one point in time you used to be shy or you used to be in your shell, but now you're just coming out, exploring the world. Not only that, like maybe you have studied abroad, maybe not just like in university, but you went to another country to study. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. It was like a sudden change, a sudden move with the Tower. It was unexpected because people like had a perception of you that you were just a shy, reserved person. But like maybe after high school or after college, that's when you went and started exploring the world. You took a different route from your friends. Maybe some of you did not go directly to start working at a career or like a job or something. You went to explore the world. You went to different countries. And this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, like how you travel. Some of them envy you for traveling so much or having the opportunity to visit so many countries and so many continents. So what comes to mind when people mention your name? What do we have here? Wow, we have the Hierophant. Okay, a guru, a master. They definitely see you as like, what comes to mind when people mention your name is that you are extremely traditional with the Hierophant. So you could be still celibate or virgin here with the Hierophant. You're waiting for marriage. So I feel like some of you people may have like talked about how when they were in a relationship with you, you were abstinence from sex, so you were keeping yourself reserving yourself for marriage. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name, and they're still talking about that you had to even walk away from people that were trying to pressure you into being intimate with them, and you choose not to. Okay, you definitely kept your vows to yourself. Yeah, you see, we have the Knight of Pentacles. This is somebody who is very slow to commit, but is somebody who is dedicated to their craft, to themselves, okay? Whenever they commit to somebody, they will definitely be in it for the long haul. But I'm also getting what comes to mind when people mention your name is that how meticulous that you are in your approach, how dedicated that you are extremely loyal as well. I'm really getting like it's loyal to yourself or loyal to your family, traditional, okay? Like you're not worried about what anybody's going to say or think of you. You're going to stick to your guns, okay? I'm getting like you're definitely gonna like not let nobody influence you to do something that you don't want to do. We have the Empress, okay? You glow up. Yeah, this is what comes to mind when people mention your name with the Empress. So you could be a Taurus or a Libra. We have both Taurus and Libra twice because we have Justice and the High Priestess. Sorry, not the High Priestess, the Hierophant. And now we have the Empress, which is both Libra and Taurus energy. So extremely beautiful. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name, how beautiful you are inside and out. You always kept a positive attitude. Yeah, I'm getting like there's envy around you with the fact that you went and traveled the world. We have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is like twin flame, but it's also celebration. Okay, so what comes to mind when people mention your name is that the last that they saw you was at graduation with the Four of Wands, or at a ceremony, some sort of celebration. But I'm getting graduation with the Four of Wands. And then from then, you've been like traveling or you've been like moving around or doing your own thing. Okay, so people, I'm getting like some people miss you. Some people are just wondering what you're up to. But like the people that are keeping up with you, people that are watching you on social media, they're like amazed by how, like, by who you've become, okay? How much you've accomplished in your life and how far you've come. What comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind? Wow, we have the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, patience here. Yeah, this is why I was getting like abstinence. Yeah, 7 of Pentacles. You waited, you're patient. What comes to mind when people mention you? You see, patient to become intimate. The Lovers, because this is Gemini energy, and the Lovers could also represent sexual energy. Yeah, this is what people, this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, how like you are extremely patient here. You are definitely dedicated to yourself. It's like some people, they think that you are selfish for putting your needs first or for putting yourself first. But what I'm getting is because you know your worth. Okay, because definitely if they see you as the Empress, it's because you know your worth, you know your value, you know what you bring to the table. So if somebody's not going to match you in that sense, then you're not going to like engage or invest in this person if they're not even willing to invest in you, and you want the real deal and you're willing to wait for it. Okay, so what comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name? It's like it's not easy to get with you. This is what I'm getting here. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. Some people say that you acting like hard to get, but it's just like you have high standard and they can't like reach those standards. It's not like, I'm really getting, it's not easy. It is a challenge. You're definitely a challenge. Okay, and some people, this is what comes to mind when they mention your name. Like, you know, you're definitely out of the league of a lot of people, with the Empress and the Hierophant being here. 4 of Cups, it's a missed opportunity. I'm telling you, these people, they were trying to get something out of you and they couldn't get it. This is why they're salty. Yeah, it's like you're really a challenge. It's not easy to get with you. It's not easy to get one up on you, okay? You're not easily influenced. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. What comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind when people mention your name? Okay, so we have the King of Wands. We have the 3 of Cups, and there's another card. We have 4 of Swords. We have 444. You're definitely protected. Okay, you are on your divine path. But we have the 3 of Cups. You have like a happy go lucky attitude. Okay, you're very optimistic with the 3 of Cups, joyful. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. And what I'm getting with the King of Wands as well is what comes to mind when people mention your name is that you are extremely powerful, that you are confident in yourself, you believe in yourself, and you know, like, you have the skills and talent to make your dreams come true. So this is what I'm getting. Like, it's not easy to influence you or easy to play mind games with you, because you believe in what you have to offer and you know that you're worth. Okay, and this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. And I'm really getting this, like, people from your past that wanted to have a chance with you or wanted to date you, and you walked away from them, you moved away from them, and it was all of a sudden, and you went your own way. You separated yourself from their hurt, and you went to explore the world with the 9th house. Okay, it's like also exploring the world doesn't always have to be like a physical exploration. It could be through books, through reading a lot of books. Okay, so we have 4 of Swords, putting something to rest. Yeah, you cut off a lot of people. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. Okay, how you cut them off, how you're no longer checking for them. Okay, wow, they're talking about how it's a missed opportunity. 4 of Cups, I'm telling you. Some people are thinking back at you, thinking back about how, like, they even had a chance to be your friend and they ruined that. We have the King of Pentacles. Okay, this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, is that you are extremely grounded in your energy. You're grounded in everything that you do. We have the King of Pentacles is like also stability, financial stability. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. We have Temperance, Sagittarius energy. Okay, and I think we have Sagittarius energy, no, only once. So, well, twice, because we have the 9th house. You're wise beyond your years. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. You see right through people with the Temperance card, okay? You could see like when they're trying to play games with you or trying to take advantage of you. It's not, like I said, it's not easy to get with you. It's not easy to fool you either. Okay, this is what comes to mind when people mention your name. If they're gonna come at you, they have to come correct. What comes to mind when people mention your name? What comes to mind? Wow, that you're the star. Aquarius energy. You're extremely powerful, you're healing, you're popular. You definitely have influence on others. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. You're highly intuitive, and it makes sense. And I did say the High Priestess when I meant to say the Hierophant. So with the High Priestess, Cancer energy, and then we have Sagittarius energy, and Temperance, and then Aquarius energy with the star. There's definitely this light about you, okay? You have this influence. You definitely are somebody that people look up to, okay? That things could happen if you believe in yourself. You are an example for a younger generation. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. The people that are salty, the people that are not happy that you left them behind, are the people that were trying to take advantage of you and they couldn't, okay? So what comes to mind when people mention your name? Definitely they say that you're highly intuitive. What comes to mind when people mention your name? Sun and Chariot. Leo energy with the Sun, extremely successful, confident, flamboyant. And we have the Chariot, dedicated, strong will with the Cancer energy. Okay, you moved away. This is what people say when they mention your name. This is what comes to mind. But definitely they say that you are confident in yourself. You have strong will. You work extremely hard. You know where you're going in life. And they definitely see you as somebody that have like potential to be in the spotlight. Okay, this is what comes to mind when people mention your name, like that you could be extremely successful, or you are already extremely successful with the Sun card. Okay, wow, we have the High Priestess again. Yeah, some people like what comes to mind when they mention your name is that you're psychic. I feel like you called out some people in their BS when they're trying to take advantage of you, and everything that you said about this person or these people was true, okay? And this is why they're like tripping. Some of them are tripping because of like the fact that you called them out. We have the Emperor again. So you're definitely a boss. No, I think it's the first time we have the Emperor. You're definitely a boss. You're definitely a leader. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. You're a provider. You are a protector of your family. You are a protector of like whatever you have created for yourself. What comes to mind when people mention your name? What do we have here? Yeah, you moved away, Six of Swords. You moved on to calmer waters. You left, I'm really getting like you left people behind. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. And I'm getting like there's a lot of salty people that they thought that you were gonna come back for them, or they're gonna be on your camp, or you're gonna give them a second chance, but it was definitely a flop. This is what I'm getting here. But definitely they feel like you're highly intuitive, that you're definitely somebody who will be successful. This is what comes to mind when people mention your name. If you are not successful yet, okay, they definitely see it in your path, in your future. Okay, so that's all I have for you, my pal number 3. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in my next video, pal number 3. Bye.